Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Tuesday! Happy Tuesday morning, guys. So I got a pretty full day today, so this is not going to be one of my usual longer recordings, but I wanted to drop this while it's in my spirit, so tap in. I want to share this with some of you. I wasn't going to make a recording this morning because I didn't feel like I had anything. And then when I was doing my makeup and listening to a recording, something hit me clear as day. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. Allow this to be the last time your heart breaks. Catch that? Allow this to be the last time your heart break. I guess you can see it from a place of different relationships, but for some reason, my spirit is pressing more on the same relationship. Meaning it could be a soul tie. It could be a narcissist you're dealing with. It could just be somebody that you're just in love with and they're just not reciprocating that love or respect. But it's almost like a never ending cycle. You're constantly on, you're constantly off. You're together for a year, you're off for 6 months. You're together for 3 months, off. Been there, done that. Long time ago, trust me. Been there, done that. Like, that's not even normal. Who does that, right? Just constantly on and off, on and off, on and off. But each time your heart breaks, it's taking a piece of your soul. Each time your heart breaks, it is literally crumbling your self-esteem and your confidence. And when your spirit is low like that, when your spirit is heavy and dark because of heartbreak, you will never, ever heal. You will never, ever reach destiny. So a lot of times what happens is our flesh, again, is not strong enough alone to walk away from people. And this is just not only romantic relationships. This can be friendships. This can be family. For myself, just to give an example, there was somebody, you guys know I don't have children, but I love children. I play a pivotal role in children, so many children's lives, from my friends to my family, etc. I'm talking about school shopping, college, etc. But there was this one person who each time she got annoyed with me, and 90% of the time, it was never even about me personally, right? But each time she got annoyed with me, she would literally dangle her child over my head. Like, if you don't do this, then you just stay away from my child. That type of thing, right? And because I played such a pivotal role in this child's life, that thing would break me each time. And it would not be just a one, because the parent is a narcissist. So it wouldn't be a one-time deal. It will be multiple times per year. And because I wanted to be sure that the child wasn't affected by it, I would just sacrifice and allow this person to keep playing these mind games, right? And breaking my heart over and over, because she knew that this particular child was my heartstring. But one day, recently actually, God came to me and he said very clearly, this will be the last time that your heart breaks from this particular situation. Now, I know my children, and I know that this is not something you will be able to handle in the flesh. So you are going to have to honor what I just said to you, and you're going to have to be obedient to whatever I ask you to do. And of course, I didn't know what that was at the time, but my point is, God will come to you directly. You may dismiss it sometimes, but you will know when he's at a point where he's telling you that that person or persons who hold some type of attachment and kind of use it as a tug of war thing, he will tell you very clearly when to cut it off for good. And again, I'm sure he told us that before, but I think because he's moving so rapidly and at this pace of acceleration, because destiny is like right there, our destiny moment, our breakthroughs are right there, it's more profound now. It's more profound, and then he will keep sending people to confirm, or sending things or ways to confirm to you that that's it. And I want to encourage you guys, I'm telling you, please do not play with God when he tells you something is it. I'm not talking about your own emotions or your feelings saying it's it. Because again, most times when we say that, we're not tired. We're physically tired, but our soul isn't tired. When your soul is tired, you don't even say you're tired any longer. You just walk. You just walk. Come home, house empty. You just walk. Or better yet, come home, the house, everything is in there because I don't want it, right? When you're tired, when your soul is tired, you don't even verbally say it. You just bounce, period. So when God comes to you and tap you and say, this is it. I've told you before, but I'm telling you now, this last time is it. Please listen, because again, a lot of times grace won't be covering you. When God doesn't listen, grace, some people feel like grace will cover you forever. Yeah, we will always have grace, right? But at a certain time, especially when he's been gentle about it, you have to be mindful that if God has been clear that it's time to leave, it's time to leave. Let your heart break one last time, or if it has already broken, let that be the last time. If it's a narcissist, you will go through hell, because then they find other ways to pull at you, because they have to keep you in that web. So then what they may start doing is telling lies on you, or they may start to try to tell, if let's just say there's kids involved, they're going to make other people think like you walked away from the kid. So, but either way, if it's a narcissist, which will be more difficult, or if it's just someone who you have a soul tie with, which is very difficult as well, but not as bad as a narcissist, dealing with a narcissist, either which way, you're 100%, your 100 attention, whatever, has to be on God, on the spirit. Flesh will not do it. Someone asked me that last night. Someone emailed me and they just feel like they want to fight a narcissist in the flesh. Well, honey, listen, if that's what you want to do, do what you do. I promise you. Do what you do. But many times, in my opinion, all times, a narcissist, you will not beat a narcissist in the fleshly realm. This is a demonic spirit. Flesh will never beat a demonic spirit. You got to cut that thing off in the spirit. You got to war against that thing in the spirit. And even then it's hard. The physical the flesh would be no contact. But you still have to war in the spirit against a narcissist. That's a demonic spirit. But either which way, if it's a narcissist, if it's a soul tie, if it's just whatever, your first love, and God says that's not your kingdom partner, so they got to go so I can get you aligned and connected with your kingdom partners, spouses, whatever. He will give you orders at some point. And sometimes you don't even see it. I never saw mine coming. I just thought it would be something I have to deal with all my life and just kind of just submit to this fool so I can see this child. And even those of you who've dated people with children, and these children may have not been your children, but their children grew up with your children, or they could even be stepchildren, or just, and now that you and that person is no longer together, they feel like, well, you broke my heart. You're going to never see my kids again. So this can be a number of different ways. But again, at the end of the day, this is a word for somebody. Let this be the last time they broke your heart. It's going to be the only way you get to destiny and receive every single thing that God has for you. Again, God will not release certain blessings with the wrong people around you, with the wrong spirits around you. He just will not do it. Because then those people will be able to benefit from God's blessings, and they're demons. That doesn't make any sense, right? So if this is for you, tap in, ask God to show you how, when. I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to tell you now in advance. Go ahead and prepare yourself early to start grieving. When you prepare yourself, because you know God about to holler at you about something, right? When you prepare yourself, it will kind of, it wouldn't be easy, but it's almost like, you're preparing yourself to know that soon you're going to have to be grieving something that either you may never see again, or you will see in due time. Because speaking of that, let me tell you something. God does not play about his children, first and foremost. Be very, very careful if you happen to be the narcissist listening or, whoever. God doesn't play about his children. So you better be very, 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 very careful. Very careful. In fact, so careful that I find myself asking God to cover my enemies. Like, God, please just change them. I really don't want them to feel your wrath, because I know what your wrath is like, right? And my heart is too pure. I don't want anybody to really go through anything, even though they may not like me. Please help change their minds, change their ways, change their spirit, so they can get closer to you, so they can kind of maybe escape some of that wrath. But God don't play about his children. So trust and believe that when God tells you to pull away from something, you're going to want to defend yourself. You're going to probably be thinking, like, especially like, let's just say that there's adult children involved, or children who's old enough to understand. You're going to want to find yourself, like, say, for example, your children still goes to school with your ex's children, and you see these children, but God have told you clearly to leave it alone. But in your mind, you're thinking like the kids are going to think like it was me. They're going to think like I abandoned them. I told them I would never, not be their stepmother or etc. And now I don't know what their father or their mother are saying to them, and I have to defend myself. No, you don't. No, you don't. That's flesh. Been there, done that. I promise you. Promise you. Been there, done that. You do not have to defend yourself. God will defend you. God will fix that thing where something will happen where that child or children end up finding out for themselves the true story. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to turn against the parent, or they're going to feel some way against the parent, I should say. This is why you have adults right now who are learning later on in life that their mother was just as toxic as their dad. Meaning they were told stories about their dad all their lives, and come to find out when you have a conversation with your adult father or mother, you realize that the other parent was playing the keep away game because they were in their feelings, right? So things will always come out. And the person on the other side better be prepared to deal with that consequence. That you don't have to prove yourself, especially to a narcissist, because so many of you email me about, well, they're telling these lies to my family. They're making up horror stories about me. They're telling people I'm talking about them. That's natural. That's natural for you to want to defend yourself and your character. That's natural. But you're going to have to trust God. Either you're going to fight or God's going to fight it for you. Because see, if you fight it, you're just going to make yourself look crazy. Because the narcissist is so good that they will have things rigged up in ways that it sounds so realistic that when you start to try to defend yourself to other people, the other people will be looking at you like, this person, now you need to go to the crazy house, right? Because the narcissist is that good. This is why you can't fight them trust me, you can't fight them in the flesh. In the spiritual realm, if you stay no contact, and if you do what God tells you to do, God may give you orders on how to change your number or whatever. If there's funds involved, leave the funds. Leave the funds. Anything just tied to them, you have to cut off. And so what happened is when these people are telling these lies and whatever they got going on, because you guys know the game that narcissist plays, in due time, when they realize that their ways are, or whatever they're doing is no longer working because they can't get any contact from you. You're not defending yourself. It's not coming back to them from a third party. They just know it's done. It's over. Then what happens is they then find another supply. So before you know it, the person who they would tell the lies to is like, wait a minute, you said this about the last person. Now it's this person? Well, wait a minute. Why is everybody else the problem, but you ain't the problem? Why are you the one who's always sad, dark, and no one wants to be around you? Wait a minute. Something ain't adding up. You're the problem. So all this time, it was never this. You see? Let God do it, because it will. You can't play with God's children. You just can't. But when we're trying to fight it, God will back up. Like, okay, boo, you got it. Well, you go fight. Get your boxing glove. Go in a boxing match with a narcissist and see how many times you get knocked out. Because you will be knocked out. Or are you going to trust me, leave your hands free, no contact, cut off every single thing I'm telling you to cut off, stop defending yourself, and just stand. Stand and let me fight. You will hear. And you do. You really do. I just had the epiphany. That happened to me. Like the narcissist. Then everyone started calling me like, oh, let me tell you about this person. Let me tell you what they did to me. And I'm just sitting there like, they did that to you? Really? And I'm like, thank you, God. Now everybody else is finally seeing this person for who they truly are. So when I was trying to defend myself about this person's character, you couldn't get it. But now that it's happening to you because you're the new supply, now you get it. Right? So that God work. Leave your hands free, boo. You got this. So either which way, I got to go. Long day ahead. But I want to just share this with you guys. Let that be the last time your heart broke. Watch God work. Destiny season is here. Due season is here. Your forever season is here. Tap in.